Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Fear can show up in our lives in like so many areas and just like hit us by the like right across the face. Like, there you are. Hello, fear. How are you today? I was actually having a conversation with my husband the other day, and this is what's inspired this conversation because I know I've talked about fear on another podcast where, love is stronger than fear. Fear can be very dominant in our lives. I had a conversation with my mom the other day, and she's asking me questions because fear's crept in about things with ticks and things like that. I guess in Ontario, ticks are becoming carrying the Lyme disease again more and more. And my mom being a little worrier, has created fear. And instead of me latching onto that fear, I went and did some research, and luckily I have a friend that's also a nurse, so I got to really get to a source. It's like, how bad is the tick situation here? And then I was just informed, and instead of letting fear run my day or even fear, I really filled myself with information. So that's one way of handling fear, especially if somebody else's fear was kind of like in your face. But then I had a conversation with my husband, like the one that inspired this conversation. And it was something I was just talking to him about, like, I have this like fear. Because honestly, I don't like needles. Oh my goodness, I had so much blood work done when I was pregnant, especially with, I think, my son. Anyways, like nonstop. Anyways, and I really don't like needles. And I told him I really don't like needles. It's like a huge fear. I'm like super don't like it because I black out most of the time. And he's like, that's something we'll have to work on then. And I was like, actually, not every fear needs to be worked on. Some fears we just need to push through and just do it. So things like that is like, that's not something I'm going to waste my time doing. Working on a fear towards needles. I'm just going to show up, do it, and be done with it, right? Like, it was something I had to do when I was pregnant with my children, get blood work done, make sure everything was good to go and all that. I just need to suck it up. Sometimes we just need to face everything and rise. Sometimes our fears aren't meant to be like worked on and be like, how do I eliminate this fear? Sometimes fears are just like, I just need to walk through you, fear, and just do it anyways. And I'm actually reminded of when it was early in my 20s, early 20s-ish. I went to Europe on a trip, and I was in Munich, Germany, and the tour guide was taking us to this church that was overlooking this big glockenspiel, and it was gorgeous from below, and then you could see it like you were going to be face to face. Well, I had this fear of heights, and I didn't care if I had a fear of heights. I just did it. It's like, I'm here. When else am I going to see this? Like, yes, I might come back, but who knows? So it's amazing what we can do when we just do it anyways. Now, I had some help coming down those stairs because they were really crazy stairs. But like, I had some support on either end, like cheering me on getting down the stairs. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows coming up and down. Actually, up was pretty easy until we were up on the top and there was a bell below us. And it was ringing. And the whole thing was shaking. So, and I was not alone in the fear front. There's also a woman up there that was even more terrified than me, or showing it at least more than I was. Anyway, so sometimes fear, yes, we can work on fears. And sometimes those fears aren't going to go away completely. Even as we were moving out to British Columbia, I think I was still fearful. And then that fear just vanished the moment we got here, and we're living our life. We're enjoying, and we're just feeling like every day I wake up so grateful that I just pushed through my fears. So there's a couple different things about fear, and I already mentioned the one is face everything and rise. And then I believe I might have talked about this other one on the other episode. And it's of, what is life going to look like here? I wasn't, we've never lived in British Columbia before, and just different our expectations, our beliefs, leaving family all the way back in Ontario, things like that. Like there was this, the distance thing, And it's the unknown, right? Fear can stop us because it's the fear of the unknown. Fear can stop us because of like this internal thing where it's like, I shouldn't be this high off the ground. And there's definitely ways to remove fear. Like there's tapping. So EFT tapping can help you lessen your fears of things. And then just really getting down to the bottom of what is your fear in the first place. And then sometimes you don't need to waste your time doing all that and just do it. No, I'm kidding. I shouldn't say waste your time. Sometimes you just got to jump head in, face first or whatever. Just jump in, all in. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't work with my fears or, have a conversation with them throughout the move. I definitely did. And I'm pretty sure I shared that on the other episode because it was mostly, that was what I was really talking into back then, is facing my fears through the move, because I had a lot of fear about moving and it really stopped me for a long time there. But some things can seem massive, like fear-wise. Like I really don't like needles. And like getting blood work done is ugh. And it involves my husband coming with me because I faint a lot. And it's trying not to work yourself up before something like that, but it's just going out and doing it anyways. And I'm pretty sure I shared this last time, but I want to share it again because it's super important. When you're feeling fearful about something, you can think this: I choose love instead. Something that Gabby Bernstein wrote in one of her books, or that I felt like said something in something, and it just really stuck with me. I choose love instead. And when you place love, it might not completely make fear disappear, but it helps you move forward with love instead of fear. And when you focus on your love intentions instead of your fear intentions, one, you'll be able to put one foot in front of the other, maybe a little easier. And it just lets life be a little bit lighter and loving, and lets it flow a little bit better too. So fear can really paralyze us and stop us in our tracks. And sometimes there's the tools that you can use to really alleviate those fears. And then sometimes you just don't have the time, like, because it can take some time. Like now, EFT tapping can really work wonders. And maybe I'll even try that before I have to, get blood work done or something down the line. Who knows? But it's sometimes just going all in, having faith that you'll be okay, that you have friends helping you up the stairs or down the stairs. With my height thing, like I just did it. I think back. So if you have this trouble with fear and just facing it and rising, think back to a time maybe where you were fearless. Like think about kids. Kids are fearless. They don't know any different until the world tells them to be afraid about things, afraid of things. And that was me on my trip. When we're in a foreign place, I feel that sometimes we're different. We're like more empowered and more in tune with who we are, because who knows when we'll be there again. So embrace those feelings, because just because you change location doesn't mean you aren't that person still. You have that within you. Like I think back and it's like, I just did stuff. I did things that the Jody in Canada would have not done, kind of thing. And like not crazy or dangerous, just like things, height issues. And even when my husband and I went on our honeymoon, we went to London, England, and other parts of other parts of England as well. But I went on the eye. It took me a while to get there because it's really high and it's thick, but I'm glad I did it. It's those moments where maybe you don't have time to work through your fears. We have to think about, what are you losing if you don't go and do it? If you don't just go all in? And of course, there's going to be times where you have to assess the risk, of injury and like your life, like everything. Like there's going to be times that you need to look at the bigger picture. But sometimes like the eyes, millions of people have been on that thing. The line, like you can tell there's people on it. It was false evidence appearing real. It was my fear of heights. And I'm so glad I did that. So sometimes we just need to face everything and rise. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.